Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Sandy Bottom Homestead. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And we're here, and it's seedling season. I mean, it's just seed starting season. This is where we're at. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do individual videos about different parts of this whole process. And then I'm going to have a video that comes out that's just basically all of it mashed together. And this is simply so people can find what they want, or they can watch the whole thing, whatever it is. But I just kind of want to get this done and just make sure everybody's getting the information that they need so that they can be successful this year in their seed starting endeavors. So today we're going to cover the light aspect of it. Try and keep these short. So, and also before we get started, if you want to have a seed starting schedule custom to you, please email us in the email address below. We'll get one out to you. It's not free because we make them by hand, but we'll get one out to you as soon as we can. And that way you can kind of know for year round how to start your seeds. And it's a really good starting point to get you going in the right direction. This is basically my seed starting shelf. These are the lights that I use. These are LED lights and they are cheap. I think for 6 of them, yeah, 6 of them were, I think it's $50 a few years ago. It's probably up to like, I don't know, a little bit more than that because of inflation, but this is an excellent way to get into it. They're low powered, which is what you want, because when you work into a limited space, I mean, this is all the space I have in order to start seeds. So I've got 3 trays right here, 3 shelves, and throughout the year, we'll start about 4,000 seedlings on it. So you can see, and a majority of them come through the spring. So you can see that we use our space efficiently, and these lights really do help. So these have been raised up a little bit to keep above the plant. And you always want to keep them up a little bit just so that you get the nice spread. But because they're low power, they won't really burn the plants like you would think. So this one has not been raised up at all. And from the time that they start until, I'd say about a week from now, when those plants really start touching the lights, that's when we're going to start that process. So we'll start lifting them up. And then it just gets, you know, they'll go higher and higher. Right now, it's not that big a deal because these, like for instance, these cabbages, they're not going to get that much bigger. So we won't have to raise them up. But when we start doing tomatoes, we're going to raise this light right on up as high as it can. The highest I think I've had it's about right here. And then the tomatoes come out. So the onions, you can see they're all over the light right now. So we need to trim those back. And the thing about onions is you can trim them. So what we'll do, for instance, especially when we have multiple plants, so we have this, onions, and then we have cabbages here, and these onions are starting to hit, we'll just come through and just trim them just like that. Just basically give them a haircut. And so I won't do the whole thing, but this is what you do when they're inside starting. You don't do this outside. So we'll go back after the video and I'll do all of them. But that is how you keep those low, and then that just makes them produce stronger roots. So that'll really help you in your onion endeavor as well. But these you can get off Amazon. There's an Amazon link below that has this whole setup on there. But these lights are on there, and if you buy it, we'll get a couple pennies, so that would be nice. But we've basically done the legwork, and I've used these, I think this is my 3rd or 4th season for these. So you can see that it really helps out. And the LEDs have not died off as of yet. So if you get a high powered light, then you need to have much more room up, right? So I've seen people starting seedlings where basically their light when they're germinating is this high and then they have to lift it up more. But look at all this space that I can put seeds in. It's crazy. So when you're working in a small space like this, it's all about keeping it as compact as possible. And I just don't want my whole house to be taken up by it. It's already taken up enough as is. If you walk through my house, it looks like basically in certain times of the year, like the farm is just taking over the house. So we're trying to consolidate it as much as possible. And this really does help this whole situation. So make sure that you're getting lower powered, and you don't have to spend $500 on a light. You don't have to be purple lights. And I'll tell you something about the purple lights. The purple lights are good I started off with those when I switched to LEDs from CFL bulbs, you know, the curly cube ones. But the purple lights, my problem with them is when I looked at them, it was very disorienting. So it'd kind of make me a little bit dizzy. I feel like I was gonna puke. And then the other issue, the real issue with it is you can't really see the color of the leaves on the plants at all. They look more like a yellowish color. You just really can't see how vibrant green that is. And there's two things behind that. One, I want to see green. That's why I'm in this, because I want to see the color green in the middle of winter in my house. And two, I can't tell the nutritional needs of my plant when the purple light is on, because visually looking at your plants is going to tell you what your plant needs. So once I switched from purple into just regular colored light, which is, I started off with regular colored CFL bulbs, which are the curly cube ones. Again, the normal ones that you can't really buy anymore, you have to buy LEDs. But once I got into the purple ones, I knew I used them for like a year and I was like, that's not gonna work. And then we needed more space, so we upgraded. And the one thing I learned about building a seed starting station, setup, whatever you wanna call it, shelf, is if you build it right and you make it like decent, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. Go ahead, if you're serious about starting your own seeds and growing your garden, go ahead and spend a little bit of money that it takes to get it going, and you'll be surprised about how easy it is to take care of it. You don't have to fiddle fart with stuff and jingle jangle and move it and tweak it. I mean, when I'm ready, I'm going. I lift up my lights, I lower them, I turn them on, I have them on a timer. So I have my lights, all of my lights go for 18 hours on and 6 hours off. No questions asked. Unless I'm growing dope, which I'm not, and when it goes legal, there'll be more than that. But until then, that's all it is. 18 hours on, 6 hours off. End of story. And that's because these lights aren't as strong as the sun. So you want to get them enough time to soak up as much of that light to start the photosynthetic process. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, photosynthesis. We're going back to second grade. So, you know, once you get the timer on there, I don't turn my lights off or anything. So, I mean, I can show you. Basically, I have everything run. Like, here's my main switch, so I can turn it off. But when you come down, it goes into a power strip. You can see it. And then, boom, there's your timer. If you want to be fancy, put it on a smart timer. But that is a $3 timer from Lowe's, little turn dial. I have them come on in about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I think they go until 10 o'clock at night. So reason why I do that too is so when I come in here at night, I can see when it's on and when it's off and make sure everything's functioning. It's just a glance down the hallway to make sure that the light's on and then the light's off. So you can see it makes a big difference. So get yourself a timer, get yourself a low powered LED. And when I say low powered, you don't have to search out low powered. Look at the cost. If it's a couple $100s, you don't need it. You don't need it. I mean, we're running a whole homestead on here and selling seedlings off of these lights. But you just have to do the research and you have to figure out how to go about it. And the reason why I like these two is because they got these jump cords. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen them where you can just jump them and the power runs through them. So it's not that big a deal, but this really will make a difference. And the other thing I did to make it a little bit better for these is these lights come, if you can see, there's a shield right here and they come with another shield. You can take them on, they just slide right out. I slid this shield off so that this light can project all the way across. So on both sides on the inside, the shield's gone, and that will allow the light to kind of flow through and light up all of this. So it works out a lot better. So try that out. If you don't get your light right, you're not gonna get your seedlings right. And I'm gonna tell you, unless you live in a greenhouse, windowsills just don't do the trick. I've tried it, I've done it. I got that t-shirt. I've earned that t-shirt. I wore it, it caught fire on me, and I got scars from it and emotional battle wounds from just plants failing and just not really working out good. I mean, look at these seedlings. Nice and strong and healthy, ready to go. Whenever I want, I can put this plant outside and get going, as long as the weather's right, of course.
Goodbye.